Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back with part one of two replays that a friend of mine from Taiwan by the name of TaiwanTank went ahead and basically sent to me via Facebook, and I decided to just go ahead and upload these to YouTube because I thought this would help justify his case and his statements versus and playing against Artosis. A lot of people are alleging that he has been stream cheating. I'm telling you all, for the Taiwan esports scene, this is, just an allegation that strong is never a good thing. But let me go ahead and see if I can find that first replay. I actually didn't see this one at all. So here we go. Gonna go ahead and get into casting it. You guys probably hear him messaging me on Facebook in the background now. So here we are. By the way, I'm using Asus ROG's casting interface. It's a very nice one to use. But here we are in the upper left-hand corner, spawning as our red barcode. Upper left-hand corner, spawning as our red barcode. His name is Artosis. Yes. Half of the casting Archon known as Tastosis, and in the lower right-hand corner, spawning as our blue Protoss. He represents the clan Evil Rabbits. His name is TaiwanTank. Now, I'd like to go ahead and just give you guys a quick statement about our TaiwanTank player. He told me that a clanmate by the name of Hurricane was sitting right next to him, and Hurricane is actually a rather, I would say, on the rise and reputable pro Starcraft 2 player. He's been Masters for a long time, rank 1 on the Korean server. But, of course, I'm going to just go ahead and give you guys the rundown on this game and try and get back to it. I just want to say, again, for clarification, that there is no way that TaiwanTank had basically cheated this. It looks like I just got a message. Well, not entirely sure what this is all about. And that was basically just a message about the Neo TV Star League, but, you know, it's strictly within the China scene. Nothing to do with what we are talking about now. But Hurricane, again, like I said, he was sitting right next to this guy as he was playing against Artosis in this PvP, as you can see. Let's see. Alright, and I was just, of course, alt-tabbing to check my Facebook messages. Very rarely do I do this, but I feel like I have to come to the aid of TaiwanTank just a little bit because I really feel that he's a bit misunderstood in this. I don't mean to bash on Artosis at all when I say this either, but he is, to the best of my knowledge, you know, like when I'd seen him playing on the ladder, he was you know, he was in Masters top 20, not Masters top 1, but I mean, you know, he's still a very knowledgeable player, he's still a very respectable player, and he has every right to be skeptical, especially given that he had lost the game and not really understood, like, well, okay, I won't challenge him, because he has my deepest respect. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I'll just leave it at that, guys. Alright, and now both players have their Warp Gate tech on the way, but I'm thinking perhaps Artosis is going to hide whatever tech up he's going to put here, right, as soon as he can. I mean, like, we do have, of course, our double gases going down for both players, and this is usually indicative that somebody's going for something besides just gateways. Perhaps it could be a robo expand, 2-gate robo expand, excuse me, force field expos, things of that nature. Now, it is basically a given that I know the results of this game, but I don't, you know, I don't really know, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything that went on in between, because of course it was just maybe an hour or so ago when I had woken up and I had kicked on Artosis's stream. But of course, as I said before, he's got a pro player standing over his shoulder giving him coaching, and by him I mean TaiwanTank. He has, again, as I said before, Spider Fist, aka Spider Hurricane, sitting over his shoulder as he was playing this game. And we've got the Mothership cores basically chasing each other around, and it looks like TaiwanTank is just going to pull this one back. Just a teeny bit. And Dark Shrine now going down for Artosis. But we have Blink getting out right now, and this is an essentially blind, as you can see, Robo Bay going down right now. But I mean, when you think about it, Protoss has a, you know, a bit more in the way of detection than they did in Wings of Liberty. Like, come on, they've got 3 different detectors. There's the Oracle, there's the Robo, and then there's the Observer, and then there is the, what's the word I'm looking for? The Cannon. Of course, if you lose access to making any of those, you're basically done for in a PvP where your opponent goes DTs, but let's just see how Artosis goes with this. Alright, so he's got his own Robo going down as well, because he doesn't see a whole lot in the way of Stalkers coming out just yet. Well, he kind of actually does. He did just have 2 of them poking away at a pylon that he had placed in a forward position. And now we're going to have 3 Stalkers taking on 2, and TaiwanTank is probably thinking to himself, okay, well, why isn't my opponent making more Stalkers? What could this possibly lead to? Could this be, you know, DTs? Could this be some kind of a Stargate play? That kind of thing. And Robo Facility units are actually pretty bad against everything that flies, really. I mean, they've got nothing that shoots up. It looks like TaiwanTank is putting down a forward pylon, getting ready to do some damage. Kind of blind again. He doesn't have a whole lot of vision in the main. He's a little hesitant to engage here. But if he did poke forward just a little bit more, he would have inevitably been attacked by a DT, and he wouldn't have anything to really deal with that except for perhaps using Blink to get away from the DT. There it is. Speaking of, aggressive Blink onto that Immortal. As long as it's just that one and only, he'll be good to go. But it looks like, oh no, the Observer comes back for TaiwanTank, and he's got to take down that Blink Stalker, but it looks like Artosis is over here pecking away at all of these. Ooh, well, he was pecking away at all of those probes, but then it looks like the Mothership Core activated Photon Overcharge, and ouch. It looks like, you know, right now with the situation we see Artosis in, he's actually in a position where he could end up losing his Nexus at the natural, yes, and especially now, is he supply blocked? No, he's not anywhere near supply blocked just yet. But here we go, the Mothership Core was sacrificed, and we do have the Immortal coming down. This could actually work against Artosis. It might have been a misclick, who knows? Of course, we do have Photon Overcharge going down there. The DT is still in the main. It's actually waiting for that Photon Overcharge to get just basically wear off for the time being. And now we have a lot of Stalkers down here. Do we have any more Immortals? It looks like we're going to have one more and then another one queued up after that. So he might be able to hold this. It's all going to come down to the engagement. I think there's a few too many Blink Stalkers there, but we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. When we have 3 or 4 Immortals out, that's what can really, really shut down Blink Stalkers. 2 is still a sizable threat, but wow. Okay, so both players just playing that game of cat and mouse where they try and just exchange, but it looks like TaiwanTank is just going to go straight for the Nexus and maybe try and pop out of there. He didn't go for it. He did poke at it, but he didn't get the kill on it. It looks like this might not work out in favor of Artosis, but he's got 3 Immortals now. It could be okay for him to hold his ground. It's going to come down to micro and all that good stuff, but force fields have already been burned. Right now, it's looking like this game could carry on just a little bit longer. We're going to have a lot of Immortals soon. And probes now being transferred to the natural as Artosis has barely saved it. DT still waiting for that opportunity to pounce, but once it does pounce, it's going to basically get bounced, if you will, by the Mothership Core and the Photon Overcharge here. We have, again, the Observer waiting patiently in that mineral line, and it looks like all of those Blink Stalkers just jumped onto those 3 or so Immortals, but there's now a 4th one out. 2 Stalkers now 1 shot. And does Artosis have a Mothership Core? He doesn't just yet. He's actually rebuilding it in his main. He's chronoing out his Robo Facility, trying to get those Immortals out just all that much faster. And there it is, the target down on that one Immortal. But it looks like this isn't going to be without heavy losses from TaiwanTank, if you guys just check this out. There we go, another additional Stalker being warped in, blinking away, and it looks like, I don't know, TaiwanTank could actually end up barely taking down that Nexus. We have another Immortal out already, ready to take his maiden voyage against some armored units, mostly Stalkers, and it looks like these Stalkers are just going to target down the Nexus. Probes are being pulled to help save it. Meanwhile, behind this, TaiwanTank is just really started just now saturating his own natural. And I'm thinking this would be a good time for Artosis to simply pull that DT and take down his natural Nexus, or at least try to do some damage there. Because, of course, if you can burn 2 photon overcharges on both Nexi, he might be good to go. But it looks like these, speaking of Nexi, the one at the natural just fell for Artosis. He's going to have to do something in return. And he's going to try and pull that DT and put it up against his opponent. He is presently supply blocked. There's actually no mothership core here, so it looks like the probes are just going to go in for a straight rebellion. And to this point, he has 9 worker kills to his name. And cannons going down, static defenses, ready to take down anything that may come his way. Alright, so both players not really on the back ropes, but I'd definitely say Artosis is in some hot water. He's got an increasing number of immortals. If he can somehow get vision of his opponent's composition right now, he'll see, okay, well, this guy doesn't have a whole lot in the way of offensive units. So that means basically he's trying to take an expo, and it looks like this could end up turning into a base trade scenario, as you guys can see here. TaiwanTank also going for Zealot legs behind this, and it looks like Artosis was forced to cancel his natural nexus, and he's gonna lose some probes here. Whatever he had going on that robo, it looks like it was canceled, and now we have Artosis pulling probes to try and defend against this. Meanwhile, he's actually going for a full-blown frontal assault here. Photon overcharge activated on the natural nexus, and we have him basically just moving past all that, going straight for the tech of his opponent. I don't think he has any probes alive. No, he's got 1 or 2. He's just got to pull them, and it looks like that last one does fall. Ah, jeez. It's gone into full-blown base trade scenario, but now we actually see our red toss with no, I repeat, no probes whatsoever. And it's just going to come down to who can kill Huam faster. Looks like we did have the mothership core activating. It's... oh, man. This isn't too good. He does have a DT in the mix. That could not really take these guys down and infinity chase them, if you will. And the observer catches sight of those 3 immortals. It looks like because he was not able to destroy the main army after losing his nexus and all of his probes, Artosis simply gave up and threw out the GG. Alright guys, so this has been game number 1 between Hurricane and Artosis. If you guys liked what you saw here today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This is Breaker. I will see you guys in just a few minutes with game number 2 between both of these players.